me, I did that.
Record on that instead of on the
Cloud.
okay.
It was, yeah, I already did it, so. All right, everybody, if you didn't hear it, recording is in progress. So mind your P's and Q's.
Start talking about it.
Right. All that stuff we were saying before, be very careful.
Takes the fun out of it.
I know you guys are getting your chili or potato soup. Thank you, Muna. Heather, I'm gonna turn it over to you, but I would like to suggest that we, once we introduce ourselves, we go ahead and let our special guests present so they can have their evening back. Professional courtesy to our friends from the library. So they can go back to whatever they need to do tonight. I have somewhere on here, not my Facebook page, you guys don't want to see that. The slideshow from the library, but I will find it. You guys go ahead and do your introductions. I'm Andy Howell, I'm the transit director for the city of Sandy.
I'm Nancy Payne, transit assistant. I'm Tora Durno, I'm the DM for MV, me the contract with service.
Charles Lowe, driver in Brandon B, and Sam, also the on-wheel trainer for the driving.
And he's wonderful.
I'm Rebecca Hansen. I'm the teen librarian at Sandy Public Library.
Heather Michelle, a local business owner and chair of this advisory board.
Bernice Hyman. Roxy Lowe, a member of the board and president of STEAM.
There you go. That's the one I was-
Yeah, that does it.
Joseph Lowe and Dave. I don't,
I think so.
I just know a member.
Yeah.
All right, I'm a resident on the program administrator, I was getting food. Thank you.
I will very quickly, I'm sorry, you know how I like to jump in because I think of things on the fly. Say that, as of June 24th, you are not a transit program administrator. She has been reclassified as a transit manager.
Like, I've always tried to tell people, I'm like, she's a Muna. She doesn't.
And Nancy as well has been reclassified. She's no longer an administrative assistant. She's a transit admin specialist. As you guys know, we've had a lot of changes, taking over more of the contractual agreement with Clackamas County, putting out new routes, etc. So we moved puzzle pieces around while still remaining a party of three.
I was gonna say.
And doing the work of 20.
Yeah, no one took your old position, we just renamed it.
It's
where
just
it should be.
reclassified, yes, yeah. So just different job duties, new job description, so, yes. And she's now exempt, so
Ooh.
she can't claim any overtime. So, you know, those benefits anyway, so,
All right, I will get started. So again, I'm Rebecca Hansen. I'm from the library. So I'm here to present this PowerPoint to request your support for an outreach vehicle for the Sandy and Midland libraries.
I promise I will push play when I figure out which button it is
Yeah, no
to
problem.
push to make it go.
We're already so technically ahead from our usual meeting, but.
I know, right? Where's my little make it a presentation button? Yeah,
Is it in the bottom? No, I.
it's usually in the top left and like just right there to,
How's that view? There we go.
how about this?
Sure.
Whoop, whoop. No, it made it small. That's your notes if you need them. All right, how about that? Does that work?
Perfect.
Okay,
We can go ahead and do the next slide.
I don't know how, but we'll try.
Maybe like, I don't know.
There we go.
I don't know. Yes, too.
I got it now,
It's working.
girl.
Yeah. So the idea is, so why an outreach vehicle? Sandy and Headland have a large service area, in Clackamas County, but the number of library users is less than a lot of libraries, just because of how wide it is and how difficult it is to get to the library. And there's like significant spare mileage. Outreach vehicles are becoming more and more of a staple in public libraries. Like Oswego has one, Malala has one, Cicada has one. And the idea is to bring library services to where people are. So with the service area that we have, it goes from Boring all the way up to Rhododendron, Government Camp, and what we want to do is, instead of making it so that they have to come to the library, we're going to come to them. So not only are we doing like specific stops along the way, but we're going to retirement homes, senior centers. We can, go to daycares, preschools, schools, parks, during community events that are happening. We can partner with other departments in the city, like the community center.
Mhm.
Yeah. One of our goals for the library is digital equity. For example, we teach computer classes currently. We started basic computer and basic internet classes in April 2022, and then Microsoft Word in February 2023, and then Google Drive in October 2023. There was 122 people signed up, so there's clearly a need and a desire for the computer classes. We also, as a library, currently have computers available, printing services, and internet available. In the fiscal year 2023, 6,531 computer sessions have taken place, and over 29,000 total pages have been printed in the library. And the idea is, when we have an outreach vehicle, it will be outfitted the ability to have computers, printing services, and internet available. Another thing that how it utilizes these services, as a teen librarian, one of the things I really love is the makerspace that we have, and STEM programs, and we would be able to use this outreach vehicle to bring those programs to different communities. And instead of them coming to us, we're going to them.
Where's your makerspace? Your
It's a
mega
community
space?
center.
Okay.
Yeah, we are outfitted with an industrial sized laser engraver and laser cutter. So we have some really fun projects. But what we'd like to do is be able to bring like those types of programs on the road. So really, like, we do like a makerspace on the road. We have 3D printers we can bring. Kids can create their own 3D printed objects, or we can do coding. So we'll have computers and internet available because of the mobile outreach vehicle. Specifically, the children's librarian can go to story time and go to daycares and preschools, so she can take her story time on the road. And then also the Vista apartment community. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them. It's like a migrant, farming migrant community. We'd be able to bring the outreach vehicle to them, and then also the Pioneer Mobile Home Port, which is Boring, and it's about like 10 minutes away from here. So it'd be more difficult for people who are living in those areas to get to the library. We're also gonna be able to check out materials. So in addition to all of those like fun activities, events, programs, access to internet, computers, we actually have library materials you can check out on the vehicle. We'll be able to check out audiobooks, magazines, DVDs, you know, fiction, nonfiction, make library cards, audiobooks, yep. Right? No. So some of the impacts we're gonna see from having an outreach vehicle is an increase in kids' early literacy activities. So like I said, story times at the preschools and daycares in the area. In addition to signing up other children with 1,000 books before kindergarten. And I don't know if you're familiar with that program, but essentially it awards children who have read or have been read to 1,000 books before they get to kindergarten. And then it's also going to increase our ability to provide those STEM activities, specifically to the Vista apartments and Pioneer Mill Park, and then of course bring them to schools. We'll increase the number of computer sessions, computer classes, and then also increase the number of library card holders. And hopefully that will essentially lend itself to regular library users. So today what I'm asking from the board is a letter of support to fill out the survey that's going to be coming available soon. Talk to your friends, family, community members about the idea of an outreach vehicle, and then assist with funding efforts when possible.
So, I'm gonna jump in for just a second, if you don't mind. So we did write a letter of support already, FYI, that basically summarizes that, transit recognizes that, Sandy is what we term an equity area, meaning when you look at various data points, there's things like lack of sidewalks to be able to walk to your local library, right? Or roll to your local library. Low income families, you know, are fairly high percentage, and et cetera, and so forth. And there's 10 data points that TriMet and other transit providers have put together to recognize equity areas, and Sandy is one. So we wrote a letter of support that yes, we as transit providers know how hard it is sometimes for people, especially vulnerable populations, to be able to get to the resources that are available for them. I mean, that's what we try to do for a living too, right? I know from working with Sarah, she's been working on this for a long time, and the vehicle will be about the same size as our Sam Rides vehicle. And then it's the same thing, essentially, a cutaway that gets retrofitted with bookshelves and computer equipment, Wi-Fi. Trolley would be amazing. Yeah.
Andy loves trolley.
I do love trolleys.
Love that
We-
enthusiasm, right?
We are a two trolley town. That's what my husband says all the time. We're a two trolley town. But yeah, thank you for making us all aware of things that we can do to help. They still do need some funding. So city council set some money aside for the library for the vehicle, but they need the funding. And I believe it was about 80,000 still to equip the inside. And Sarah is currently, last I checked, going back and forth about, do I go ahead and order now, even though I may not have all the funding right now, but as we all know, it takes a very, like 2 years.
It's about 18 to 24 months, for it to be completed.
May I ask a question?
Of course.
What's the involvement of the Friends of the Sandy Library? Because they've got funds, tons of funds for the library.
I think what they're gonna be there to help support is some of the programming that'll be happening on the bus.
But they're only providing funds to.
I think that's essentially what they're gonna be providing, is, if there's additional information, you have to ask Sarah.
Yeah.
It's great. I've never heard of a service like that. You said it's becoming the norm.
Yeah, it is, it's, we're like, Andy said it's an equity situation where we want to bring the resources to people and meet them where they are.
Yeah, I was curious, because,
Isn't that awesome?
I guess it's more down the road logistical, is it gonna be like well, in the driving term, we have the term like fixed route kind of thing, so we'll be in your neighborhood between 3 and 4, or is it gonna be a call for service kind of
So
thing?
it's kind of gonna be both.
Yeah.
So one is we will have, well, first, we are still requesting input from the community about which stops will be like the most impactful. And then we will have a regular schedule on where we stop. And then we'll have an option where you can request the bookmobile to come to an event.
You do birthday parties?
Pretty good.
That's what you're gonna get. That.
We play video games.
Yes, yes, exactly, exactly. And if we have a birthday party, is it equipped for gaming?
What's also nice about the bookmobile is, you don't need any special license to drive it. So anybody in the library can drive it. And the idea is that for like for staff support on the bus, it would be like one staff member and a volunteer that would be going along the way. And with sustainability for the funding for the bus, I think that's where Friends comes in as well. It's just, creating a consistent funding pattern over time. Yeah. Is there any other questions?
Gas, insurance, yeah.
Yeah, gas maintenance, 100%.
So this program isn't for individual use, this is for organization use, pretty much, community use only, okay. Okay.
Do you wanna drive the,
Yeah, do you wanna drive it?
do you want it?
Yeah.
Do you wanna borrow it?
Absolutely, no.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, you know, that I understand that there's the Vista and the mobile home park, but there are other people within our communities who are low income and that maybe don't live in those facilities or those locations, that wouldn't then have access to this service. Unless they found a way to get to the library or to a specific stop.
Yeah.
So that's what I was curious about is if this was just basically community locations only and you have to find a way to get there.
There is, I think with the survey that's coming out, that's where we're kind of looking for feedback from everybody, is like where do you think would be great spots for us to stop? And it could be like another apartment complex, you know, in behind the library, or you want to buy like a park or something. So but with that type of input, that's gonna really impact the way that we use the outreach vehicle. Yeah.
Will this service be delivering books, meaning if you went online and you reserved books, instead of going actually to the library? Is that a service that this will potentially offer, is what I'm trying to say? So Vista Apartments, you've got 12 houses who have ordered books from the library, are they going to deliver those off? Type thing, I was just curious.
You know, I don't think that we'll be providing holds on the bus yet. That might be something that we can discuss later, so it's not a bad idea, I agree. But we will definitely be able to bring library materials to different communities. I would like to know more information about providing holds, that type of service as well. Might be a good question for Sarah as well.
I bet. Yeah, that's a really, I mean, if you knew you were going to a retirement home, for example, right?
And then creating a list.
And creating a list so that you could take it when you went. Yeah.
Because if they all got library cards, knowing that you're gonna be coming,
Yeah,
whether you're doing an event with them that day, but they wanna still check out,
Specific.
right.
A through Z,
right.
whatever, and you know, you're coming anyways, and whether that's they come to the event and pick up their book that way, or
Mhm.
it's dropped at their house or location or wherever.
Right,
you know.
right. Front desk or whatever.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a wonderful idea. I think it'd be a really great idea for a service, and it might be something where the library can, produce like a list on the days that we're going, like, doing an outing and seeing if we can provide a service like that. I like that idea.
This is all years, I know, school's out and you're still doing.
Yeah, it'll be year round. We'll be able to provide, increased access to like summer reading signups.
Very cool.
You know, when I grew up in Pittsburgh and I'm trying to do the math, it was probably 40 years ago that they have a bundle and it would come to our neighborhood and we go. So that's, I think it's cool that we're bringing that back.
Pittsburgh.
Just picturing
How does we get?
great truck service.
We walking clean from home.
Well, thank you. That's very exciting. Yeah, it is. Obviously, we understand that people maybe have problems getting to places sometimes, right? Yeah, so,
With bus service, like you're saying, Sandy has some accessibility issues. They might be a mile away, but you know, you're gonna have to go up hills if you walk, you know.
right.
It's a really great complement to the transit service that we offer.
I completely agree. Yeah, we are happy to help in any way that we can. So, yeah. So thanks for coming and letting us all know. And I especially appreciate the last slide of how we can help.
Thank you for your support and the letter. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yay!
If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. The library's happy to answer.
And if you're not a library, you can just put me on the camera for a minute, you know, you're missing out, so check it out.
We have wonderful resources and programs.
I'm the worst. I put books on hold and then I never make it.
What kind of teacher are you? We do not judge at all.
That is just skimming the surface of my management. Disability. Okay,
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Have a great evening. Take care.
now I'll let you, but I do have one more adjustment to the agenda.
Please.
And that is that we have new materials that I want to make sure you see and lay eyes on. I want to, so obviously we have a new route. And somehow we had to fit that on our schedule. So, it's a much more clean look than we used to have, which, I mean, you know, I love our old schedules in the sense that they have the map of the town, so you
The
do.
side streets, that was.
Yeah.
I noticed.
Yeah, so.
No offense, but I was like.
I
oh.
know, so we lost, you know, well, if I wanna get off by the library, where do I go? But these, I think Muna posted them yesterday. Bus shelters.
I still work on that because I need a different tool for some of them,
Okay,
so I posted them where I could.
those are posted where they can be. I will let you talk about the channel cards.
So we wanted to market a couple of areas that we kind of would like more people to get on board. So we have the, I'm gonna get up and just so I can see the whole. Of course, we want to market our new town center route. So although this has the whole schedule, it's got the making promotions and you can clearly see, which I'm just gonna say that route is really taking off well. We have every month doubled our ridership. So it's getting there. We've had a little bit of a rough start, I thought. Sorry, I'm getting off track, but
No,
there was
no,
a little bit of a rough
please,
start
go fine.
from the winter weather that when we launched it. So it is really coming along nicely. So we have this one built, and then this other one is kind of a focus on Estacada. And you'll see that it does have the town of Estacada. We thought that it would draw more attention for people to get on that bus rather than, and then see that they can come to Sandy. So that's why it probably looks a little different than most of our ones with blood.
These are boards for our Sam's.
They will go on the Sam's and they will go on the Mountain Hood Express.
Oh,
buses.
good. I'm supposed to-
And we also collaborated with the police, so they will have some on board because they are doing recruitment as well. So,
Oh.
Yeah, so we have reached out to all of the other departments and said we are happy to make and post any channel cards that you, and I think the library is working,
the library did
or they did
plan
one.
on one, they never
Haven't
had
sent that?
them. But IT, I believe, wants to add some and they're still working on that. but,
Great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
if we can help our other departments put whatever message out that they need, like they need a new police officer, then by all means.
Like their April Fools, I love the bikes, the retail.
Was that April Fool's? Cause I sent them a message and I was like, that is amazing, do it.
We talked about that yesterday at our communications meeting. It was actually April Fool's joke.
Boo.
Yeah, I could.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently you have to have 40 hours of training and it's thousands of dollars to be able to ride a bike to patrol.
They
So
got me.
they used to do, I totally believed it too.
I was like, awesome, guys.
That's great. What a way to get out in the community and.
He did not look thrilled this game.
Oh, I know. I know.
Going,
Yeah.
I give my card for this.
Right, yeah.
I
That
mean,
was
you could
cute.
say it's, you know, let's see, I think Officer Santos said that there's a group of officers who are doing a health challenge.
Oh.
So
Yes, they've been
that-
doing that for a while.
That would help with that.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying. you know.
Yeah.
Then they, with all the responses they got from the joke, you know, maybe it's putting a little bit of, you know, maybe this is
Yeah,
something
maybe
to
they'll
actually
actually-
consider.
Yeah.
So if you guys.
It'd be interesting to ride a bike around Sandy, that would be like this.
Yeah.
They're going to help
See
you.
them thighs like.
If y'all come up with any ideas, on things that you think would be great future channel cards, because I think we're gonna probably try to utilize that a little more to capture people's attention. So,
I was actually just thinking of, the other night with the Clackamas round, and I thought of your cards that I'd seen around the office. We have the Clackamas route going around, but it's still, unless you read the leaderboard, it looks like the Gresham route, like in town. I don't know how expensive it would be or how difficult it would be to maybe make a large magnet or something that they can put on whatever bus they're using that day for Clackamas to
Mhm.
kind of like, as people see it go by, they see that it's
A
something
new,
different.
that's a good point.
Yeah. Cause
Yeah.
I'm thinking that might be part of it, because we are, I talk to passengers and there are still plenty that don't realize there's a new route, even though you have your banner at the transit center and
Yep,
all that, and I was thinking something like that, just to say, hey, this isn't the Gresham route that you're used to seeing go through Sandy.
it's a
You
great
know.
idea.
that is a really great idea.
So I was just curious.
Or if it could go on, you know, if it could go on the front underneath the windshield.
Yeah,
or-
because the difficulty is it's often a different vehicle. Excuse me, but something that would work on, you know, all our vehicles, a good size, maybe a little bit bigger than those cards. You know, that people would see as they move by, would get the attention pretty good.
Not to get off the boards, but I have a question about these.
Yeah.
If you thought about taking these into whether they're apartment complexes. For them to either hand out with their welcoming kids and new residents. Because don't get me wrong, but this is an absolute beautiful, gorgeous, love this, like, I'll get out with this. And I don't think that people understand
Thank
all the different
Yeah.
styles of transit we have in the city.
Yeah,
Like the trolley schedules, and I mean, the whole shebang.
yep,
And I think if this got into more hands, you would see people literally riding the bus a lot more. So I don't know what it would cost to,
Well,
you know, send to every address in the zip code or to,
So
you know.
we did partner with the chamber, and so they are sending out new packets. But I think that goes to new addresses, so the apartment complex is a great idea to go into their,
Yeah.
hey.
I'm just
Make
thinking as a
residents
resident
aware.
of Sandy.
Yep.
If I wasn't on this council.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know half of what we offer and where we
You're-
go.
absolutely right.
Yep, I've seen Sam, I've seen, Sam Wright, and I've seen, the trolleys go by, you know, but I wouldn't know exactly where we go. And I know that sounds bad, but I'm trying to think outside the box of a non-writer to become a writer.
Right.
You gotta get this in their hand, and that's the key thing of how do we do that? This is gorgeous.
Isn't it
I'm,
so
I'm
nice?
telling you, this is gorgeous. It has a ton of information. I love all the information provided. Whoever created this needs a bonus, big bonus for.
They
making
just
a
got
great- Well,
reclassified.
you need a big bonus,
Jeez.
big bonus, but there's so much information on this. I mean, even, I know this sounds kind of crazy, but like even up in Welch's, go up to the resort, drop these out up there at the mountain.
Yeah.
Go to the thrift store or thriftway store there and have a, you know,
Yeah, and
display, I mean, just get this. in
just
hands.
today, we were talking about exactly that. I said, when we talk about the town center route, let's talk about how to get the word out. Does anybody want to volunteer to go into Safeway with some of our things in Damascus and say, hey,
Yes.
do you guys know there's a new route that stops right in front of your store? And do you have a spot we can put these in? Because again, there is 3 of us and we want to get the word out. So we are putting ads in papers and we have been, you know, doing various marketing things. But we also need some of the footwork to happen. That's, I don't know, if you're in the area, take some of our schedules and drop them at Safeway and
Sure.
say, hey, I'm a board member. I want you to know there's a
Absolutely.
route that stops in front of Safeway now. Yeah, so we wanted to have that discussion, like, what are your ideas? How do we get people, and I was gonna share this later, but I'll share it now.
Okay, sorry, didn't mean to get off topic.
No, I mean, this is what we're here for, right?
So far.
Yeah,
So, so we put ads in papers. I mean, we spent more money in advertising and there's a ton in our budget right now. So now is the time to do exactly what you're saying. Because city council's goal was, advertise local service more. They really want the shopper being, you know, talked about a lot more.
absolutely.
So that was a goal, and then you're welcome to walk through, and if you want a bowl of soup, you're welcome to that too. But anyway, and then also we, you know, with new routes coming on, et cetera, it was like, we're gonna have to market this.
Yeah.
And so we have the budget right now to do that. So anyway, we put a bunch of ads out, and then Happy Valley's Economic Development Director called, and it was the most interesting conversation because he said, well, I saw that you have this route. And, so I went and I read the article and I read your master plan, but I don't understand because your master plan said that this would be expensive and require a partnership. And so it would be long-term before you could implement it. And that doesn't seem to be what happened. And I'm like thinking, is he mad about this? Like, what is happening? And so I'm like, well, we got, you know, we managed to find funding way sooner and, you know, gave the whole spiel about how we found funding and blah, blah, blah. And we didn't have to partner. Anyway, and he's like, I love it. And so then he gave it, you know, and then they put an article out. So, and he went on to say, I said, well, this conversation is what we want to have. We aren't sure if we picked the right stops. He said, your stop is perfect. TriMet's not there in that area. We are about to develop it. It's about to explode on 172nd
Yep,
off of 212.
Yeah.
And he had a name for it. I don't know what it's called. Then we got this email, and I know this has been sent to the county and I don't know who else it's been sent to, but as the board, and people who operate the service, I'm gonna read it to you. Hello, local and state leaders. As Oregon gears up for bigger conversations on the next state transportation package, so we are going for more money in 2025, and this person evidently knows that. I wanted to reach out and share my support for the new Sandy to Clackamas Town Center regional bus service that goes through Boring, Damascus, and Happy Valley. I'm a young, disabled, lifelong resident of Boring and believe this is a perfect example of the type of project and service we should prioritize funding. As someone with family members who cannot drive at all, it's services like these that our community desperately needs to provide respite to caregivers and independence to people who can't or don't drive. And it's not just the metro area that needs these types of services, but every region in our state. Unfortunately, this new bus route only runs 6 times a day. If you look at the schedule, I'm sure you can imagine how difficult it would be to plan your day around not missing the bus that only comes once every 3 hours. I was excited to try taking this bus this weekend to meet my friends for coffee, but it would take 90 minutes to get there and I would be 20 minutes late. So instead, I'll be driving the 35 minutes to get there. The best way to get more people out of their cars, reducing congestion and emissions, and onto the bus is to run buses more often. Additionally, I'm truly so grateful to see the many stops this bus makes on its route, and I hope that all levels of government can work together to ensure walking and rolling infrastructure improves at and around these bus stops to keep people safe and make transit accessible. I've also attached my recently published report on House Bill 2017, Oregon's last transportation package, which echoes many of these sentiments. Thank you for keeping the needs of youth, disabled people, older adults, and low-income communities in mind as you think about the future of transportation in Oregon. So she attaches, yeah, right?
Wow.
She attaches a report that is, it looks like she must be a member of 1,000 Friends of Oregon because their stamp is on it. And she gives a complete report on House Bill 2017 that is 61 pages long.
Ooh, girl.
And very well published.
Andy, that's not the same one that was on the STFAC.
I don't know her, Cassie Wilson. I've never met her.
When I was doing, the STFAC, there was a female from Boarding in a wheelchair. So Julie might look up.
She moved.
Oh.
Dina?
I don't
Do you remember
the-
Dina?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dina. You're thinking of Dina, I think.
I don't remember the name, but I know
She moved.
somebody from there and they were really good at advocacy too. So.
Yeah, yeah. So congratulations, everyone, because that's a pretty, I was very happy when I read that.
Yeah.
And I was happy to reply to her and say, I want more than 6 runs too. So thanks for helping spread that word.
Right?
One
Yeah.
Question I had, kind of back to your thought, like new residents coming into the town and stuff. I agree, this cleans it up better, so it's easier to kind of like look at. But on the website, it would keep it where you can see all those side streets and whatnot.
Yes, and we've had conversations about printing individual. So we could, if we wanted to, go into a business with a packet of those and say the shopper shuttle trolley. That would still continue to have, because it was really nice, like those, right?
Yeah, but on here, doesn't it say for more information, the website's on here?
Yeah, uh-huh.
They
They
could
can go
go
on,
there and
yeah.
see that if they needed to.
Yeah.
But this snapshot
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
is absolutely gorgeous.
Thank
3
That's nice.
amazing minds over there. I mean, this is beautiful.
Thank you.
But I would like to get it in everybody's hands in our city.
Yeah,
Because I guarantee you, there's a ton of people who are able-bodied, not necessarily have any barriers. But they don't know we offer even a third of this.
Yeah.
They don't know.
yeah, yeah,
So they're not gonna even try to attempt to get on the bus, because they don't even know.
yeah.
I will mention that we recently partnered with Mount Hood Community College, so we're
they're distributing our materials so that people know there's a way to get to college. And that, and then, we've offered to do travel training for them when they do student orientation so that we can make that part of their, and hopefully that's a way that they can spread that back. And that goes all the way up the mountain. So it's, gonna reach a young group of people that.
Hopefully we see that.
Yes.
Is there any way you can get on like Sandy Coast Digital? I don't think the newsprint is valuable anymore, but
Mhm.
is there any way you can get on there that they would do it as a gift, free, whatever, to promote?
No, but they charge us for it and we've done it. We really hammered it and we did the digital. We did the digital for the shopper shuttle for a long time. As part of city council's goals. And then right before this went out, we did digital on this and we hit every newspaper and we did digital on every newspaper.
So I have a question, I don't work for them, but if you took a huge amount of these to the post office,
Mhm.
would they put them in each mailbox? No. Because they don't have an address on them?
You have to pay. Okay.
I don't know, I'm just curious. If you supplied the materials, they're already going to be at every mailbox just to toss it in there, I mean, I don't know.
Like how they do the store ads and all that.
Yeah, exactly, like the store ads and the coupon, whatever stuff that doesn't have addresses on it.
We can
Yeah.
check.
That's
I
just
imagine they probably have a policy because they would have so many people trying. I would send something every
Your
week.
city, you're from the city of Sandy, so you're not just a business going, hey, throw this on every single mailbox. This is a city thing, but,
Right.
you know,
You
that
can certainly.
part of Sandy. So, they may have an exception to the rule. If it's a city
Mhm.
entity that is asking for this to be.
I know I asked
Put
the
out.
post office, one time, can you stop giving me these ads? You know?
That's right.
It was, some sort of an agreement that the stores and everything pay them to do this and they can't not put it in my box. And so, that's all I know about it.
I'll ask Kaylee when I'm there next time, I'll see if she can give me permission.
That'd be wonderful.
You know, we're doing digital and social media, campaign. If y'all tried next door,
We haven't, actually. We haven't said anything on Nextdoor. Yeah.
I just, worked with communications at, Agent of People with Disabilities, like, I think 2 weeks ago. And we ran an advertisement for the Disability Service Advisory Councils on every next door available throughout the entire state.
Whoa.
And over the last 2 weeks, I've probably had about 20 different inquiries about travels
Really?
from all across the state.
So did you guys do that as that organization then? Did you set up an account as that?
Yeah, so APD already has like all the social media accounts that they need. And so they just use their account and went into each, like local next door that they had and posted.
Because we have a communications person in charge of that, and I know that we talked about next door, and that's not one that the city has yet. But I might mention that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell them to get a hold of the state communications, give them Elisa's name and number, they can, Adrian, that's right, well, and just, so that they can see how much of a difference it can make. Because obviously APD uses it for more than just like,
Well, we have all this sort of stuff,
but
we have, the Twitter and the Facebook and the YouTube and all that stuff. But yeah, they recently started using Nextdoor because our communications team is growing, and so the social media expert that they hired, knew about Nextdoor. And so they started using it a little bit here and there where they need to get information for like specific communities. And so I asked the question of like, well, you can target all the communities by just choosing which area of Nextdoor you go into. why can't we do a statewide advertisement for these councils? So, I tried it. It's working, so.
Hey, it's another outlet.
Well, another,
Use.
yeah, another outlet too would be the Hoodview News.
We put that in Hood.
Well, I live in the city and I'm more than happy to, have these out all over the place.
Thank you.
I mean,
We'll
wherever I
send you
can
home
help
with
out.
some.
Perfect.
So we'll give you all the addresses and you can go to the mailboxes. and say,
I'll put all of the complexes, the apartments in the city of Sandy. I mean, there's not that many, but I mean, I know where they all are. I mean, how can you not? But, yeah.
I'll ask where I'm living now, if we can, I don't know whether they allow it or not, but I'll ask and see if we can put some out there.
Thank you. That would be great.
Yeah, because even Avamere just out there have these.
No. I don't think so. I mean, we do dial right with that.
I think they probably,
Okay,
the front desk probably, and we mail when there's somebody that signs up for,
That's true.
they get
Yeah.
scheduled.
And they're on the buses I try to have them out when we get new passengers. We've actually had a few recently that get on, some of the routes that we drove. And it's stuff like, oh yeah, I never ride the bus when my car broke down and it's in the shop, so I'm just gonna be riding for a few weeks. And I'm like, oh, here's our schedules. And when they realize, oh, it's so much cheaper and
That's
easier,
great.
some of them keep
Yeah.
coming back.
Right, yeah, when you get used to it.
I mean, there's different, I mean, after it's an ongoing thing. When I was doing the Estacada, I'd still get people that would see the trolley go by and not know how to get on it, and then when they figure it out, they get on and they go, I've seen it go by for years, and I know how to ride it, so it's just getting that knowledge to people that it's hard to
Thank you,
do.
that's the hard part, right?
So I try to identify the new riders and make sure they get their schedules. I tell them, I answer one or two questions, and then I hand them the schedule. It's like, call the office, because they'll sit there and they'll ask you about every single route
Yeah,
in a row, and I'll say, well, to be polite and professional, just answer one or two, and then you're on. Here's a schedule, here's a.
well done.
Do you plan to, at, Mountain Festival Days, then have a booth or table up towards the back of City Hall, you know, that has
Right,
our transit information? Be a member on our council, have a voice. I mean, there's lots of things you could do.
Yeah.
At that.
yeah, we've had a table at Mountain Festival a couple of times now. Right at the back of City Hall, the entrance on the sidewalk to City Hall.
Yeah,
But it was mainly like when we were doing the transit master plan, and MV came and tried to recruit drivers to the Mountain Festival last year. And I think they said they're gonna do it again this year, which means we will need a table again, July.
Okay. Second week, because I have,
Second weekend of July.
because I have a recruiter coming next week, because we're gonna be doing the job fair, the Sandy job fair next week.
Oh, good.
there's a Sandy job fair.
Apparently next week.
13th.
Where?
The senior center?
No. I'm gonna make sure there's a bunch of these.
Please do. We can send them a thing.
Yeah, they usually grab a lunch. And that's another place that we do it, so they have a senior resource
Community
there.
center, yeah, that's our
And
senior
we
center.
do it for that, where we bring all the material and try to get them.
Okay.
And to be totally off topic, there's insurance over there, so please help me out something.
Is there,
I really think that our ridership will drastically fly off the handle if we get these in people's hands. I guess I should videotape some people I know that have been in Sandy for a long time ago. Do you know what transit we offer in the city?
Yeah.
And
it's
watch,
amazing.
watch the, well, yeah, I see a bus go by.
There are people who still think it's TriMet. I mean,
Or it doesn't apply to me.
yeah,
I mean, I can't believe the number of people that don't know, I mean, let alone our fabulous offerings that don't know that you can ride the bus to Timberline
right.
from the
How
offset.
hard would it be to set up some sort of like a, ridership training event or something where they can come in and learn how to ride the bus, do a quick little run around the route, learn how to flag it down.
So we do some of that. COVID, obviously, we haven't done it, so maybe that's why you've never seen us do it. But, we partner with the library a lot. She's done some partnerships with retirement homes in Estacada. Rode, helped them get on the bus, rode to town, walked to Joe's Donuts, bought Joe's Donuts, walked back to the bus. The library, we used to do a lot of
When I heard you.
things with them. We used to go into schools. We do it with Oral Hall. We offer it to everyone. I offered it to several people in the route. Anybody who asked me about the route, I said, we'll send staff. Like a couple people have, mentally disabled children who just still live with them, and they were so excited that adult children that this was coming to Damascus, because that gives their adult child freedom that they didn't have otherwise. And we are like, we'll send staff and help them find a good spot for them, even if we can help them figure out what the bus looks like, how to flag it down, how to ride it, etc. But I don't know. Maybe if we had
I only know a little bit about all the background that you hosted,
Mhm.
but I just remember when I first started riding the bus, back home. Never rode public transportation, early 20s. I'm in the big city, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know my way
It's
around.
scary.
And then you find out, oh, it doesn't stop at every stop. You have to pull a cord, and I'm having anxiety, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. So like, I can relate to other people that might have good use of it or might want to, and they just kind of like get in their head and just get scared to try it.
Yep.
you
Yeah.
know?
I had anxiety over putting a bike on the bus. I mean, in my 20s, like I would love to take the bus, but I am really nervous about having to figure out how to do that while they're wanting to leave.
Yeah.
And what if I don't put it on right? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And then you forget to put it up and we honk at you.
Idea.
Yeah.
July 26th is the anniversary for ADA. Disabilities. One of the places I used to work is we do like mobility aid around that time, mobility day, where we would set stage buses up. It was a little larger, and we had a modern transit center, but we could probably do it here. We always had buses staged where people could practice getting on and off the buses in mobility aids. That's great. I even had a newspaper article of me using a scooter getting off the bus.
Nice.
And that's what we brought our routes. We had a different taxi material and things like that. So that maybe in July we plan something.
Great idea.
I would say Earth Day, but Earth Day is April 27th.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a little
Speaking
sad.
of,
We're free on
this
Earth
is
Day,
free
by the
on
way.
Earth Day. So I just put out flyers to go on the bus and get,
What?
but it also was free on Earth Day.
Oh, yeah. Mountain Express too. right?
Yes, yeah.
Mhm.
He was saying just to share with everybody that, it's my job that, working with the councils, but also Oregon Facilities Commission, is that every year we do ADA celebration for ADA, and the last few years, because of the pandemic, we started doing virtual. We do 1.5 hour webinars every Tuesday throughout July. This year, there's 5 Tuesdays, but we're skipping the first one because it's week of the 4th. And what we normally have seen is that the numbers grow every year. We don't know where everybody's coming from. So the virtual was definitely a good transition to do. Last year, we were, I think, somewhere between 275 and 285 per week.
Wow.
Wow.
And when we were doing it in person, it was just a 1-day event. We averaged maybe, if we were lucky, 200 people for 1 day. So.
Wow.
Yeah, and we start the planning process every March, and so we've only had one planning meeting so far, but my March through the end of July is insane, because I'm putting that together, but, yeah, I can send the information as we start getting things out, and we can share that, through this council's networks, and that'll help advertise to the community as well.
That would be great.
And so
So pick his brain when we decide. to
That's
put
what I
this
was
on.
saying.
Yeah.
Can we do that?
Put together or something, yeah, we can do that.
Have Joseph do a little blast.
We'll recon on how to pull it off.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, our biggest accomplishment so far was right before she passed, maybe about a year before she passed. We were able to get Judy Human to attend our 88th celebration and be a presenter.
No kidding.
Because she is a very well-known advocate, she charges an arm and a leg for a presentation. But we all know that I come from the South, where we believe you get the best you can for the cheapest price. I let her know that we are a state board, and that yes, there is funding, but it's limited funding because it's through an overall statewide system. And she goes, so what can y'all afford? And I went, maybe 1,000, couple grand tops. She goes, I'll go for 1,000. We had her for an hour and a half.
Her normal fee was like over 10 grand.
Wow.
Yeah. She's very well known, but
That's fantastic.
Awesome magic here.
We need a little bit of that.
I will not see this magic.
Okay. We haven't
Got an
even,
extra load on the group
Yeah.
now. Yeah, how many more loads we're gonna put in this room?
you know what? That didn't even occur to me.
I was there tonight.
There are a lot of lows.
Yeah, I think you're all collecting us.
Wow.
It's a good crew to have.
No relation as far as the.
Yeah, not far, yeah.
This one's from the south, so who knows what's back there.
Or how far we spread across the nation. over the years.
Okay, I don't think we've actually even started our meeting, so we probably should do that.
All right,
We had a lot to share.
we did. Been forever.
It has been, yeah. I'm really glad that you guys didn't feel good because my family was super sick. I ended up not getting it, but I didn't know if I had it or not. And so I was gonna have to call in. And then when you were like, well, we're sick too, and can't make it, I was like, just cancel.
Yeah, it's just.
And I
me.
think you couldn't make it. There were enough that I was like,
I too was.
Good, I feel like it was all my fault.
over being sick, so.
It just hit us all.
oh, what was it? Whatever that puking thing was, my family got it bad.
Mine was all here, all my nose and throat, so that no fevers, no chills, no nothing, just all right here. I sound super sick, but I wasn't like super sick other than it was probably the nasal. Yeah,
Right.
it was bad.
Okay.
So let's, get the, December meeting minutes. Did anyone have anything, addition, correction? Change it over? Okay. So. Get a motion to accept those minutes presented.
A motion.
You want a second, Bruce?
I'll second that.
Great. And all in favor?
It's correct.
Aye.
Any opposition to accepting those minutes? Okay. Do we have anything from the city council liaison?
Nope.
Okay. New business, talk about the CARES Act grant. Now that you're busy.
Well, that's easy enough. You guys know that the federal government put out CARES Act money, because of COVID. ODOT put out and we got, let's see, is it two? Yeah, we got funding through 2 solicitations. ODOT put out a final solicitation with the last round of money. We put in for, I forget how much money. We were awarded $398,000. I think $298 for to use on Sam and $100,000 to use on Sam rides. We were the only Clackamas County agency successful in that round, so. Right, yeah, so, so that is the last of the federal money that we will see that was related to COVID. I think there's a little bit, they claim there's not. Anyway.
She'll find it.
Right? If there is, I will find it.
I know. She'll find it.
We have, members on the route as far as ridership and updates on the other route.
Mona looked at numbers today. Do you want to give a quick ridership? We are not back to pre-COVID levels. We're not even close, not believe, but go ahead.
We are not, we are slightly less than last year at this time, except for Sam rides and Ed have improved. I do expect that to be a change because all of you may have noticed the gas just went up 20 cents a gallon. So, and who knows how much higher it's gonna go. So I imagine we're gonna see some ridership. We are really excited that the Clackamas route is starting to pick up and that there are people becoming more aware of it, and we, intend to have some more avenues that we can kind of let people know about it. So,
Does it get worse in the spring, summer?
ridership, typically no. I think it's like usually September and February that we kind of experience a dip.
Yep.
But, and I think along with all other agencies, just COVID really changed a lot of things, and a lot of agencies have just not seen their numbers come back to where they expect them to be yet.
Do you think a good part of this is, or could be attributed to the fact that there are so many more people telecommuting?
Yes.
100%.
There's a lot of, people that started working from home that never went back to not working from home.
Yeah.
So-
Or they work most
I
of
live
the
with
time,
one of them.
but they don't spend as much time commuting. They
Estacada is not doing well. And I suspect that that's why. I know the couple of times that I rode and surveyed people and talked to people that we had a couple of workers who lived in Estacada and worked at AEC here in town. And AEC has gone to work from home recently.
Who is it?
AEC, they're like a,
Technical writing.
yeah, technical.
Okay.
And so I believe that might be part of Estacada's, even if you only have 2 people that ride 5 days a week,
Yeah.
that adds up. So you lose those 2 people, you lose quite a bit. So I think that's probably what's going on with Estacada. I see, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say I'm back on the bus.
Thank you. All right.
I've been on it twice in 2 weeks, and I'm looking forward to using it again, so I just wanted to assure you, we're coming back. We're coming back.
Wonderful. Come back. Yes.
I will
That's-
say we are working with Estacada to, they have put out a couple different newsletters. So I reached out to them to just say, hey, we really want to put more information out there for you. And I know they're very supportive. They just went through their transportation master plan. And they are very supportive of public transportation and they really want to promote it. So, I think we'll be working to try to build that.
Let's hope. What I don't understand is I drive through town and there's people at our stops. I mean, there was a family of 4 or 5, you know, sitting up here just when I went to return a package a minute ago. And so what I'm seeing myself is not getting reflected in what I see in the reports, and I'm not sure. What's going on there.
reporting accurately?
Well, unfortunately, yes, they're still doing paper and tablets because our tablet, that's a whole nother story.
Still.
Yeah. We did just put our RFP out though, and we just hired a tech team. It's a $450,000 project to have them come in and fix our tablets, first of all. And then, go through all of our technical equipment and, make sure that we're not doubling somewhere that we, you know, could be using one vendor, but we have 2. Making sure that we have what they call run books which is like best practices, I guess, of software updates. What employee does the software updates? What do you put in the warranty? When you put MDTs, what do you make sure the company puts in the contract or in the warranties? E-fairs is part of their task, so they will be, and actually it's a $450,000 because we are the lead of the project, but we're doing it on behalf of every county service. So, they will just have to pay their match. But we got the grant essentially and are the lead, so it'll come through us and then they'll pay us back whatever their match would have been. And that way we all have the same equipment. It's all operating the same. We have one company that gets us set. We use the same company for e-fares, which is paying by your phone. And what's the other part of the project? What am I missing? There's 4 tasks. And now I can't remember what the other task is. Run books, e-fares. They probably won't have time. One of the tasks is to do an assessment of all of the various charging equipment software. So when you have an electric bus, there's software that runs the chargers for you and manages so that it charges at the, you know, off peak hours and all, you know, blah, 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 blah. So,
Overcharged.
right, yeah. So what's the best fit for our fleet? What is the 3rd task?
Yeah.
I made it all up and I still can't remember. Anyways,
Sounds like a lot.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I just sent them a draft contract today. So hopefully that will all be, they have until June 30th next year to get all that done.
So once the contract is accepted, then it will be.
Yeah.
Start.
Yeah, I'll still have to go in front of city council. So basically, once city council approves with a signature, then they'll start. And they're ready, they're anxious. They are emailing me a lot. So,
Good, it sounds like they're interested in that.
yeah, they are. He has been, they did our tech analysis for us like 4 years ago. ODOT hired them to come out here and some other agencies across the state. So they're very aware of our service and our needs. Anyway,
Great.
yeah,
New cutaways.
we have 2 new cutaways. Because it takes so long to get a big bus, we opted, at the suggestion of our maintenance coordinator, thank you, Stan, we opted to use 34 on the Clackamas Town Center route. Which means we're down a Gillig. And so kind of the backup plan was to buy 2 smaller vehicles that were in stock, so we were able to get them within 6 months. They're gasoline, they're cutaways. I don't know, do you guys, have you driven one yet? Do you like them?
I haven't drove one of them yet, but I've looked around, they look nice.
Thank
It
you.
drives really nice.
It does?
And it's really good at gas, really, really good at gas,
Really?
really good at gas. Yay.
It's called the Godzilla, actually, because it has such a nice engine in it. So I'm surprised it does that well on gas, but, that's
Like,
good to
I
know.
don't doing gas.
That's wonderful. I know South Clackamas has replaced their large buses with cutaways for gas purposes, and they are saving a ton of money. So anyway, so they both ran today, right? I saw 35 and 36 literally going down Highway 26 together today when I went to drop off a
I don't know
package.
if 35 or 30, one of them was on the Clackamas route, because
Yeah,
we used 34 for training, and, I have 4 new drivers.
Yay.
That are training to get their CDL, so. Excellent. That's why it was only last for 2 weeks.
wonderful.
Great.
As a writer, thank you.
Yeah, I've been hiring up the storm. I had 4 in CDL trained today. I'm interviewing 1 tomorrow. I have 2 scheduled for next week. I'm just never gonna stop. I wanna get to the point where it's like, what are we gonna do with all these drivers? That's what I wanna get to.
Absolutely.
So carry on.
Any other
Since I'm
updates?
next.
Since you're doing.
Since I've actually hired 7 drivers since December, including the one that just started today. 2 are new CDL drivers, one, she's a veteran CDL driver. All I had to do was get her trained and get her on the road, so that worked out really well. But the winter was rough because, January, the ice storm, which, some places for farming was dangerous, but us going on the road, and I had some drivers that they couldn't get to work. And then February, we had some driver shortages and us problems around, and some matching stuff to try to get things covered as best as we could. But I've never stopped hiring, and I even have an outside recruiter that MV is paying for to help recruit drivers, so we can just keep it coming. And like I said, it's I wrote it down, the community center on 16th. There's this job fair that I'm going to, and we have a person from Seattle is coming over for major. It's gonna help me recruit at the like I said, I'm never gonna stop. Because it's almost like every mailbox for the locker is taken, but I'll figure something out. We just need to keep them coming in.
And we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty painful there for a while. It was bumpy.
Well, there's a reason why I drove 36. Because
Obviously had a lot of footage today.
she's tired and she's sitting behind the wheel. Yeah, there's a reason I didn't just take it out for a joyride. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I've been driving the shopper on weekends and some.
Have we lost that many drivers?
We've had such a hard time.
Is it retirement wise or just moved on?
It's just employment shortages. Like
Wow.
it's really hard to get them in the door. And then sometimes you get them in the door. There's been a couple that she didn't want to do it, but she's like,
Yeah, there's
No.
one she just is not gonna fit. And then I just had another one that I thought was a great fit, but she found something else and she quit. But we've never, I think since I started here in July, I think we were fully staffed for maybe a month. But we've always been just chasing it and chasing it and chasing it.
it's been,
Are we at?
and Mount Hood Express. So they quit every winter. Somebody does, right? It's usually Ben, right, Chuck? He comes back. I said Mount Hood Express, somebody quits every winter, and it's Ben, but, Ben's quit like 3 times now. Think
But he still works for you.
or, no,
No.
Out of the moment.
no. I think we're done with trying that. Yeah. I think he might have lost it in a text to Mara, so I think he probably burned a bridge, but anyway, winter is very hard here. I mean, it's very hard, or you get a driver, we have one, I think still, who is willing to drive the mountain, but not like the last night run, because Timberline Road is no joke.
Oh, hello,
And I-
those that live here
Honestly,
know.
at the end of the day.
Crazy ones like that one that's the route they choose, but
The first night he drove it, he came back and he's like, I'm not driving the mountain, I'm not driving.
I
again."
quit.
I'm like, well, let's just stay here, I have another route coming, I can still use you.
Yeah.
And then I put him on the Clackamas route. Because he was like, I'm never driving a mountain, I'm not driving it, I can't.
I don't know, I guess living here and going up and down enough times, it's not scary. I mean, I don't know, I don't understand what's. I guess it can be scary if you're unfamiliar with it.
And then a
just-
big bus.
Last winter, we had a bunch of the newer drivers fighting over the mountain runs, like
Right.
everyone wanted mountain runs. And then this year, they were fighting not to do the mountain runs. So,
And when I'm doing drivers, I'm asking them, are you okay with driving in the winter, or are you okay? And I've been lucky enough for Micah that I've been getting them more like, yes, I'm fine with them, yes, I'm fine with them, so.
that's
And what
about
that looks
changing
like.
specific.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like with like drifting in snow and ice and you know what I'm saying, like, and chaining up and like,
That's the part, I mean,
what is the experience in that? That you
they
need that out
chain
here?
up every time.
Oh,
Can you
yeah.
imagine chaining a bus every time? Like,
And unchaining it.
and unchaining it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
It's not that bad when everything works together. We try to, if the driver before you puts it back the right way and they don't get tangled, that kind of stuff, that's what slows you down is when they get tangled or they don't work right.
Mhm.
And it's the difference between 15 to 20 minutes versus 30 to 40 minutes. Just with if it goes smoothly and if it doesn't. That's why like when we're talking mountain buses run late because,
Yeah.
sometimes they'll be right on time because it only took 10 or 15 minutes to get those chains on. And then sometimes they'll be half an hour or more late because, it didn't quite go right.
Right. It was
Tomorrow,
twisted.
Tomorrow Rachel's taking the trainees up later because she's also gonna be driving the mountain. And she says, and we're getting snow, she's excited, we're getting snow, so she's gonna take them up to be able to know, learn what it's like to drive with the mountain in snow. So
Mhm.
teach them now, let them get ready for it.
Yeah. That is, when you hire a mountain person and it's not December through March, and they're like, oh yeah, I got this.
Yeah.
And then January or December hits and I quit.
But we're also gonna approach the winter differently this year, is that we're gonna start them training on retraining and retraining on putting chains on, and retraining on how to drive in the winter of that. So.
Good job.
they need to make the buses be able to have electric chains.
There
Where you
are
push the
drop down
button and they
chains.
drop down and off you roll.
All on spots, so I've heard mixed reviews on them.
Yeah.
Most drivers I've talked to don't like them. What I've been told their flaws are, which, I mean, I guess this is kind of the same with chains, is you have to have them activated before you need them. So it's not like, ooh, I'm stuck, I'll turn them on now.
Yeah.
Whereas chains, yeah, you want them on before you need them, but if I get stuck and I can safely get out of the bus, I can still work my way to get a chain on. So that's where chains have a little bit of an advantage, but ideally, both of them you have on before you activate it, before you start sliding before you go up the hill or whatever. And then, with the on spots, I've heard, and this, like I said, just hearsay.
Mhm.
But I've heard they don't provide as much grip as the actual chains do. So they're, more akin to like somewhere between chains and studded tires or something like that. So, like I said, I've heard mixed things, but the stuff I've heard from drivers is that they're almost not worth it, kind of a thing.
That's what I've heard. The decision was made to have drop down or not before I was in that chair,
And,
and that's
and
what,
I've heard they don't help coming down at all. Like, I don't know why, but
Yeah.
I've heard they're not for going downhill, they're for going up.
I feel like I've heard too, they're better just on a, you know.
Well,
on
yeah,
a pretty flat
straight
surface.
or going up,
Yeah.
like, and honestly, the harder part of it is going downhill, that's where you really have to watch your speed, regulate your turns and stuff, because when you're going up, gravity is gonna straighten you out, that's gonna slow you down. You know, uphill's pretty easy as long as you're not plowing through a foot of snow. But, I mean, that's what I've heard about the soft spots is that they'd be fine for, I think, just to meet the regulations,
right,
but as far as actual function,
not so much.
few and far between that the driver would say, thank goodness I have those.
Good to know.
Anything else? Capital projects?
We have a lot. I met today with our architectural team. We are moving along very well, I think. Actually, we had a lot of progress today. We hired them to design a maintenance bay and a second admin building. Their recommendation was, and I should say, they've done a very good job, and if you're not used to this process, because I didn't realize this amount of work that goes into it, but they come, they shadow, they talk to you about what happens when, how, where, what. They spend a whole day following the process, what drivers do, where do they pick up their this, do they keep their uniforms at home or in a locker, blah, blah, blah. So they've done that with Public Works and Parks and us, and then they plan your space around what they see the needs are. So they've given some really good suggestions on improvements of, like in the maintenance bay, for example, they've designed the they call it the driver's hub, I think, or something like that. That is where the driver's stuff is for the morning, and it's separate from dispatch, so that they're not going into the dispatch office and having that conversation. If they need to talk to a road supervisor or whatever, they can, but much less, you know, they have their space and they have their space kind of thing. All of the cleaning stuff is gonna be there in the driver's space, and keys and so forth. So the maintenance, so their suggestion, they gave us 3 ideas to choose from and told us why, and what we've decided to go with is not to design this building. They did design it to this building, the second admin building in the grass. They said it would be very expensive to put another building there because there's infrastructure in the ground there. We have generators that are tied to natural gas sitting there, etc. So their recommendation was to remodel this building to meet some of the needs that we have. And then instead of just having a maintenance bay that is 2 bays, I can actually show you, maybe it's a little more, except how are we on time? Do we quit at 7?
Yeah.
We have no time.
Oh, we have no public comments, we'll be there.
This is kind of the fun part, so I will show you. Or at least I think it's the part. They have designed the 2 maintenance bays as drive-through bays. We are attempting to do all of the city's maintenance in those bays, not just transits. So they're running a fleet plan to see if that's possible. They'll redo this first bay, they'll have 2 drive-through bays, and then they have designed, a building with, beside the maintenance bay, that is for, and we're gonna make it 2-story. And then when we put our grants in, we'll say it's scalable and maybe it won't end up 2-story, but anyway, it will have a training area that right now it's this, and which drives me insane. And so, they will have their own training space, projector, office set inside, and she's like, inside the training space. She has an office out there, dispatches out there. There's 3 more, there's another open office with 3 more desks for road supervisors, ops managers. The maintenance has a workspace and desk inside the maintenance bay. Very cool, very cool. It will be amazing. It's gonna, but anyway, so it's exciting, and the project is on time. And then in our meeting today, we're gonna move some of the dates up for grant applications, because we think we can get those out the door quicker. And they also, part of their job is to help you get grants, so they know some grants that I don't know, and then I know grants they don't know. And so we had some of that conversation of what those grant cycles are and what they look like, and etc. So we're gonna have to phase it, but if the city signs on and likes the designs, then we'll probably start remodeling inside. Lickety split. I know, right?
We're not gonna have everything room. For meeting, training room.
Right?
Yeah.
This is where you take a break.
Yeah.
This is where you get trained.
Yeah.
This is where you eat lunch.
It's
Why
very-
we're having a meeting while I'm having a break.
Yeah, so, it's pretty exciting. This building will be, this building has a lot of usable space that's currently not used the way that it could be. And so, they've done a great job, and I was looking for it one night. Yeah. Especially, I say they've done a great job. It's anytime you have a project that you are designing that includes at least 3 departments and their future needs, what do you need 20 years from now?
Yeah.
That becomes pretty difficult to make sure you're meeting everyone's wants. We all get along here really well, so it's the process, I think, has gone pretty well. But there was a minute or two that I was getting a little nervous about making sure transit was the priority of the project, since we're paying for the design.
You've been very gracious having your office right there.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
We get around.
This is very loud, right? And then, yeah, like there's 3 trainers today, and I love it. I love to hear their conversations.
Did you get the short straw, or? I thought you were like.
Yeah.
You're in this office.
Right? Okay, so can you guys, this is this building, which that's not what you guys want to see though. This is what this building eventually will look like. So here's me. This all becomes transit. We expect we'll hire at least 1 more that's an admin, reception. This is going to change. This becomes an office. Muno will move over here, blah, blah, blah. So, and as you can see, this becomes a conference room, which will be very quiet sometimes. But let's see if I can find the maintenance bay. There's our fleet plan for the city. These are options, so. No. This is the. Okay. Whoops. So, after our meeting today, so what you can't see in this drawing is this was intended to be a mezzanine for storage. And I said, let's try to do 2 stories. So they're gonna push this out, to make space for stairs and an elevator. But here's the general idea. Here's our GM and our dispatch and open offices. Maintenance has office space, the training room I was telling you about with, a desk for the trainers, restrooms that are outside and that open from the outside, so the drivers don't have to go into the building on their break. If they don't want to, they can go and use the restroom and go back out. They have the ability to see the bus garages and the buses, out their windows. And this is the driver's lockers, driver's zone, where they come in and get all their things. This is their break area. They get a new kitchen. Yeah, so that's, and then these, of course, are drive-through and we'll have lifts and all that good stuff. Yeah, so big project. The phases are supposed to be 25, 26 to start remodeling in here, 26 or 27 to start building a building. There. Yeah. And then in 28, we'll come back in here for the final phase, which is like new carpet and new, fixtures and things like that, because this is
Been around a while.
been around a while. Yeah. So, other capital projects. I'm working on the scope of work for the, electrical upgrades. We have a grant for that. I think it's 460,000. So once they do the scope of work and get me the contract, I'll take that to city council and we'll start that. Our buses are ordered, so nothing to talk about there. And I feel like I'm missing a capital project that we have happening right now. But maybe I'm not.
Ridership,
Yeah, I think
it's gonna happen.
that was, whoops, we put it in there twice and didn't need it.
I will close this out by giving our partners at the county's update, because they sent it to us because they couldn't make it. They wanted you to know ridership continues to improve, but is still lower than pre-pandemic levels. They're working through schedule alerts and other adjustments with Passio along with the city of Sandy. No word yet on the next round of FLAP funding at this point, but ODOT is working on an agreement with Clackamas County and Sandy to support service until FLAP funding is received. Last we heard, we would finally get FLAP again in October of 25. The state carved out 500,000 for us in the meantime, because we've been operating without it for 2 years now. Still waiting for final word on the federal earmark request for government camp restroom relocation project. I don't know if you guys are aware of that project, but it's a huge project.
Didn't that just get funded?
I know that transit improvements on the mountain got funded, but I don't remember if it was this or the hub, because they're building a hub.
Where the bathrooms are, right?
Yes,
Yeah, they're
yes.
moving that, yeah.
Yeah. Working with the city of Sandy to start to implement some small infrastructure improvements.
New
I'm assuming that's the tech project that they're talking about, probably. And we'll be looking to make some schedule modifications in late summer, early fall. That's news to me.
I was
Or-
guessing that maybe it had to do with their route to Clackamas Community College. That maybe they're gonna make, or the Rhody.
Hmm.
I just assumed it was gonna be connected to that so that,
Yeah, maybe. So they did get funding and they are going to start a route from Estacada City Hall to Clackamas Community College. They were going to try to run it out of here. I wasn't ready. Tomorrow was to take on that project for them. And when we looked at how we would schedule that, they figured out it might be easier for them to run it out of Oregon City. Is it Oregon City?
yeah, so they'll run it just as a loop that was started Estacada or started on whatever.
Right.
Just
So
go to
it won't actually touch Oregon City. It's just that's where the bus will originate instead of originating in Sandy to go to Estacada to start the route. So that's a lot of deadhead. So anyway, they're gonna start that soon.
It was 850,000 for the transit hub improvement, so it wasn't for the.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So that is them building, kind of like the operation, the transit center here, but they're gonna build it on the mountain. And I think there's room for 4 buses to come in and have a restroom.
It'd be
So
nice
that
if
they,
people all know where to go to catch the bus.
Yeah, right.
so that we can connect with the river, right?
Yeah, although they don't know if they're gonna do it again. Hood River and, COIC is running buses from Warm Springs now.
Oh. Nice. Yeah,
It's-
'cause
It's mainly employee and, they're bringing employees.
I was gonna say it's gonna increase, cause you know the resort's opening back up, right?
I can't wait.
So if people know that they, I would
About
say it's this year.
July, I wanna say.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but if they can go from here all the way to the resort and back,
No kidding, I'm off.
I'm just saying,
I'm off.
what a beautiful drive to Salem Bud, right?
Right? Yeah,
Not have to worry about all the traffic. Just saying. That's gonna be amazing if they have stops up there. If it goes all the way up there, that would be, plus jobs.
right. I don't know where it starts in Warm Springs, but I do know they used to run band pools from Warm Springs, specifically the ski bowl. And they were going to do that with flat funding. The tribes are, very interesting to work with, and so it hasn't happened yet.
No, but even if it does, and they have like a central little hub down at the casino there. And then they have a shuttle that you can go up and around to go to.
Yeah. That would work really well.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right,
Because then you're not having to go up.
You should suggest that.
right?
Seriously, I mean, they got a big enough parking lot and stuff there that they can do that.
Mhm. Yeah,
Little pit stop there.
it'd be wonderful.
Telling you, there'd be a mass once people, well, as soon as they go right that far. Make it a day. The crack of dawn and
Thank you, over there.
that's you,
Right?
day night. Then catch a bus back, I mean, yeah. Just the drive though.
Okay, anyone else?
Do y'all get the announcements from the Public Transportation Advisory Council of their meetings? And what they discuss?
I think I do, yeah.
Like if not, like, because of my job, they make me a subject matter expert of transportation for my unit.
I think I might have seen that you joined that.
Yeah, so I'm on the PTAC now.
He's
Yeah.
voluntold, let me
Yeah,
just.
voluntold. They wanted more out of me, but I told them to be a true subject matter expert, you would have to take away my job duties and just give me transportation only.
Right.
So I agreed that I would serve on the council and give reports of that back to my team, but that's about it. So we're doing that. Because of that, I am trying to get them to fund my way through the conference this year.
Yeah.
In the midst of trying to get them to agree to that. And then, I don't know if, y'all know these folks from ODOT, but, David Morrissey.
No, it's not.
He was serving as their civil rights and their ADA coordinator. Well, the ultimate plan was to have him to just be the civil rights person because the ADA team is actually under that. It kind of like a division under that.
Mhm.
So they finally have hired Brenda Gesner to be the ADA coordinator.
Okay.
And David had me working with him and some of that crew last year to create ODOT's ADA transition plan. And part of that transition plan, the work group that we had felt like they need an advisory council that advises the civil rights and the ADA coordinator team on all things accessible and accommodation wise and access and inclusion and things like that to the overall ODOT public transportation system. And so they are in the midst of trying to get approval from ODOT authority. And if they are able to do that, that council will be created. And if they get the approval, the first, I think, year or first 2 years of the creation of that council is going to be a select core of people to help them actually get like the structure and the organization of that council and what is the actual work by the charter for that council. And David has selected me specifically to be one of the people to help get the council off the ground.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah,
Busy day. Not everything else I do.
that's awesome. See what happens when you're so competent.
Why they think so?
When you can get it done, then you gotta get it all done.
I think that- No, it's some interesting projects, you know, I've worked with David off and on, we had him as a vendor when we were doing the ADA celebration in person to help advertise ODOT and the accessibility of our public transit throughout the state. And so we kind of work pretty well with each other, and I call him when the Oregon Disabilities Commission wants a presentation from ODOT and whatnot, so. Yeah, he's been impressed with, even though I'm not in like the full advocacy game like I used to be, he's been impressed with how much I still know of transit and how much I still try to be moved into it. So I think that's why he's wanting it there, and he's also specifically requested, I think his name was Curtis Rains, I believe. He's the Center for Independent Living Director out in Eastern Oregon, and he was the chair for PTAC for a while. And so
What's his name?
Curtis Rains, I believe.
I haven't seen this list, so I don't know, don't look at me.
All right, maybe he's saying it wrong, maybe it's like Randall. I can't remember. I do know him, I've had interactions with him, he's definitely pretty knowledgeable and hardcore when it comes to speaking what he wants to speak, so. Looks like there's gonna be a new council, I would say, because I don't see him not saying no to this, I mean, that's part of the transition plan, so.
Yeah. It's exciting. Very.
But yeah, anybody that needs that stuff, I can always get it info, let you share it, so.
Okay. We'll hit you up on it.
But yeah, I should know if the conference will be funded, I should know. I was hoping to know by today, so I should know probably within a month.
I had OTA yesterday and moving right along. Hotel rooms are,
Fill it up.
no, they haven't announced it yet. they're still working on like a call for sessions and all that
Yeah.
stuff, but
Got it. Registration was supposed to open on Monday, but I don't think.
I haven't
because
seen
never-
it.
Yeah.
We both looked and, cause he said the hotels are booked and registration's open and I was like, I mean, they don't even have the logo figured out yet, so they've got a couple options, but they have.
Flag shows that
But it's.
we're coming.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe they said they selected.
I think they meant like they have the block.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my last communication was that registration was supposed to be Monday, but it never came out, so.
Well, thank you, everyone. Very much appreciated. We're on the road upward, I believe. We just gotta tackle that first.
I did have one word about the putting in the gear because we're in the winter season, put the Mountain Express on that, so that Mountain 8. It's gotten away. I did have like a lot of passengers upset about that. So I told them, hey, call in, do the surveys, write it in. There was a number of people wanting either the 8 to continue year round or the village shuttle to do a late run. A lot of them could be accommodated, but I said, okay, well, I'll mention it, but it's best if you do the surveys, call in.
Yes,
let
thank
me hear
you.
Yeah.
directly.
And thank you for mentioning it because I know that Christina has talked about possibly adding a village shuttle. And I think the flat funding that we are supposed to be getting does add at least one, if not
I think
two.
it adds 3 to theirs and 2 to ours.
3 to village
I don't
shuttle and
know
2
the
to
answers
estimate.
to that. And then additionally from, the MV perspective was every year they have to redo the basic schedule to add the Mountain 8.
Right,
And then 3 months later, gotta undo it. That's why specifically why I'm not doing the closing shift this year. Because the schedule got cut, so there's the hours that you're like, okay, well, I'll go back a bit and change my schedule to get a little more hours.
got ya. That's why you picked a different bid.
Yeah. I like closing, but, midday is pretty good too. Plus, Alan tempted me with 3 days off a week, which we'll see how long that lasts. But if it seems like we're starting to get staffed up, then something like that, like a late village shuttle will probably be perfect, because there was a few regulars that got used to being able to get home in Welch's and stuff
Right,
Um,
right.
pretty late at night.
No,
I made sure to let them know ahead of time, hey, it's ending.
right,
But their schedules don't necessarily change at the right time. So they have to call friends.
okay.
So there was a lot of, I would say just on my runs, 3 or 4 distinct regular individuals. That had
That
to
need that,
change their
that
plans.
still need that
Yeah.
run. Okay,
Had to
yeah,
accommodate.
that's really good to know. Very good to
That's
know.
just on the routes I was.
I know personally, I'm like, yes, we're finally cutting.
I know.
That
That's like.
Well, it does run later,
Yeah.
that's why I was thinking, well, compromise would be the village shuttle, because it's
Right.
not as long as the route. And then
Mhm,
people
yeah,
get halfway to the government camp if they need to, and have a friend pick them up or.
yeah. All right, well, it's recorded, so, but we will definitely pass. That's good information. Thank you.
Formally adjourned.
Yes,
We are adjourned.
we are adjourned.
Oh, no.